Hello there, and welcome back to the Sky Guys podcast, a special bonus episode this week. We talked about in the podcast that dropped literally this morning that when the Mandalorian Grogu trailer dropped, we would give you a new episode. It dropped literally 4 hours after we put the episode out this week. I'm your host, Mike Phillips. With me, as always, man's voice here in narration every single week. Pete Consadori is here. Pete, how are you?
Doing well. A little bit of emergency podcast, right? We're on top of it so that you guys get that information quick. Yeah, excited to talk about it.
Yep, also here with us today, our silent leader, Nick Fraietta, is here. Nick, how are you?
Doing good. We got a trailer, first movie trailer we've had in probably 6 years, so it's really exciting to see.
Yeah, probably, yeah, possibly longer, but we'll talk about this in a minute here. And people want to subscribe on the Sky Guys and do so Apple Podcasts, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, Amazon, all usual suspects. Simply search for the Sky Guys here at podcast platforms for episodes there. And we gave you two in 2 days here, so make sure you're subscribed. You got a lot of fun stuff coming.
Make sure you're subscribed. Like you said, a lot of fun stuff coming down the pipeline. Don't miss out on stuff like this, right? Trailers drop. We do some cool countdowns. We do some cool bracket stuff. So make sure you're subscribed.
Yeah, brief interruption to bracket season. And Nick, if you want to follow us on social media, how can I do that?
At Sky Guys Podcast all over social media and at Sky Guys Pod, gmail.com if you want to email the pod.
Yeah, we'll also a bonus social media comment of the week here since we are doing a second podcast here. Go to Instagram. This is a rarity for Nick, for us, Nick, on the Instagram. We go to discuss about the Ray movie from last week. Underscore JD comedy underscore says officially in development hell trademark. It ain't coming out, Mike. So Nick, I think I agree with our friend here.
Our friend Justin.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Justin as well.
Yeah. Pete, is this four for four here? No, we're not seeing this movie anytime soon.
100%.
All right, so that's our social media comment of the week. Feel free to leave your comments across all our social media platforms. You can get them right on a future episode. And let's get to our breaking news here. So we had a very surprise trailer drop here this morning, Nick, because we'd heard the rumors last week about how ABC sitting on this trailer, Disney ABC, and then is this coming out? Is this held because of the Jimmy Kimmel controversy? We don't want to flood this movie here, but works out. Came out a couple of days later. Jimmy Kimmel's back on the air. The trailer comes out today. Can't think the timing is too coincidental here, but Nick, reaction to the trailer we got.
So first off, I want to thank a friend of the pod, Vin Gallo, who's come on a couple times. He let me know it came out like a minute after it came out, which was 9 a.m. He texted me about 9:02. He's trailer's out, and I looked, and it was there, and it said like 2 minutes ago on YouTube. So thank you for letting us know. But immediate reaction is I think it looks really cool. Everything that we heard about the movie seems to be true, and there were a lot of those screenshots that we had seen, I guess, from Celebration that were in there. But everything just looks like it was true, and now we finally have confirmation on a lot of stuff, and looked really cool. A lot of fun. Awesome trailer.
Yeah, Pete, it was a 90-second trailer we got today. So this is a true teaser trailer, not a ton of dialogue, but like I didn't give you much on the plot, but like the action they showed you definitely got you a little more interested than we were about a week ago. We were talking about this.
Um, I disagree. I'm the same amount of interested. I don't think this really brought home a lot of points that we didn't already know. We already knew Mando was going to be in it. We already knew Grogu was going to be in it. We've seen him fight before. The only thing that was interesting is to see either a new Razor Crest or maybe a flashback to his original Razor Crest. So for me, it didn't land as hard as maybe it did for others. Like I said, I'm still just at the same excitement level, right? Still excited for the movie, but this didn't really sway me in the positive direction or the negative direction, just kind of neutral.
Yeah, this is for you. Oh, it happened. Okay, now what?
Correct. Correct.
For me, it's not that the trailer itself swayed me more. It's that seeing it makes me feel like it's real.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's there. It is. It's actually here.
Like
It's
confirmation.
yeah. Not that I didn't think it was coming out. I always did, but seeing it and seeing the date and seeing like the trailer, I'm like this is actually happening. You know what I mean? Like this is. It feels more real when I actually see it, and it made me a little more excited in that sense. Not because of anything they showed.
Yeah, more of like this is not the Mandela effect that we're just living through doomsday. Like, oh, like this is something like we don't know if it's actually coming out. They actually filmed this, and now okay, they filmed it. They have a trailer ready. We're getting a movie in about like 8 months.
Yeah, 8 months.
Yeah.
All right. So, any notable takeaways from the trailer, Pete, that you want to start with? Because I have a couple. If you do not.
I mean, the only thing I would say is, like I mentioned, the Razor Crest, or the Razor Crest esque ship. I don't. It didn't look exactly like the Razor Crest from the show. So again, I don't know if this is a flashback from the old times when he had a brand new, ship versus he gets a new, same class of ship, just different from the Razor Crest. I'm not sure. Or a different one specifically from the Razor Crest. So that piqued my interest a little bit. That's the one thing I'd like to point out. But other than that,
Yeah, and I think in terms of the Razor Crest, Nick, I know that Beck in Book of Boba Fett, he wanted another Razor Crest, and he gets the Naboo Starfighter. So I think this is a new Razor Crest, and we do see like the yellow lining on. I think to me is like a homage to his second ship. So I think he still has both. I think the Razor Crest is his preferred vehicle.
I think he'll have a new Razor Crest as well. We will certainly see. My excitement, or one of the things I wanted to point out, I guess is a better way to word it, was seeing Zeb fight in live action. Looks awesome.
Yeah, Zeb live action. Like we got the brief shot of him, I think in Mandalorian season 3. We got a little bit of like we got a couple of photos of him, but this is the first time we see him actually like be a brawler, be a bruiser, and fighting Imperials. So like this is cool to get Zeb back in action for the first
Yeah.
time since Rebels.
Only a half second pretty much in the trailer, maybe a second, but it was cool to see.
Yeah, and Pete, one thing I'll point out here from the trailer I noticed here is like we got a lot more of Grogu doing things and being of help, whether he's looking out the scope to spy on Imperial troopers, he's assisting Mando flying the Razor Crest Jumper 2. He is, using his force powers at points. He is shooting his little laser, like his little slingshot weapon we saw him get in Mando 3. Like there is more Grogu involvement, which is good, where he's not just a tag along.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that character development, right, and he's getting better at his skills, and it makes sense that this would happen. I got to be honest. It kind of went over my head in the sense of like, okay, yeah, it's cool he's doing that, but like it didn't really hit as well as I wanted it to. It's still to me very new, right? His force powers, and he's still trying to learn all that stuff. So I'm just curious to see how far they progress in the movie or how effective it is because we've only seen effective force maneuvers from Grogu in like certain instances throughout the seasons in different shows.
Nick, what you know we got a Grogu in the trailer?
What I expected. We've seen him be more involved as we've gone along in the show from season 1 to 2 to 3, and assuming this is just season 4 in a movie, it's what I would expect to see a little bit more. He's involved in the comedy still. The way he's walking in the tunnel with the I don't know if it actually is Babu Frick or there's a bunch of them, so I'll just say the Babus.
Yeah.
So he's walking with the Babus in the tunnel at the beginning, and it's just like funny. It looks awkward, and then also you can see him doing things I've never seen him do before, like swim.
Yeah.
So it was more or less what I expected to see out of him in the trailer.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that was interesting as well. The Anzellan species and like the other few lines in the trailer, we get like the good line at the end that got me laughs every time. It's like when you hear the Anzellan basically go, "Good shot, baby," at the end when he shoots his slingshot. That was funny. And Pete, definitely a noble lack of dialogue in the trailer, which is very Mando 1-esque.
Yeah, Mando 1 and probably a little bit of Mando 2. I think Mando gets a little bit more lines obviously in season 2. But yeah, definitely reminiscent of season 1. We just did a season 1 recap, so it's very fresh in our heads. And I think that brings the appeal back to what the Mandalorian was. I actually like that there wasn't a lot of dialogue. Um, but I'm curious to see how that transfers over to the movie. Do they just creatively take this and say we're not going to put dialogue, we're just going to show action because, like you had mentioned, it's just a teaser, it's not a full official trailer, or if that's going to be how the movie is, where we go back to that season 1 kind of Mando.
That feels like
I,
we're back in that direction, Nick, because I mean, between the Razor Crest, all the action, the lack of dialogue, you look at the poster, which we'll look at in a minute, that you see that he's got the pulse gun back, which he lost in season 2 when the Razor Crest blows up. He has that back. They're trying to take the clock backwards to season 1, where everybody was in love with this show.
Yeah, 100% agreed. But I also think that it's pretty common practice nowadays with the teaser trailer to have more of the action and less of the dialogue, and then you get into that second trailer, and I feel like it starts heavy, and then things calm down, and then they start telling you what it's about a little bit. So I'm not really taking that with like I'm not actually looking into that. Like I'm not saying, oh, there was less dialogue. I think that means there might be less dialogue. Like I don't think it means anything. I think it's just first trailer is not going to be a lot of dialogue. Second trailer, there probably will be.
Yeah, agree with that here. What do you think about all the action we got? We got to see a Mando blow up a like an Imperial Walker fly out of that. We saw him in bar fights. We saw some gladiator stuff with Rada the Hutt, and we saw hit Mando fighting a gladiator in the ring, basically riding his neck. Like a lot of action.
No, it looks great. I don't really have anything negative to say about the action. It looks fantastic. I'm really excited for that part of the movie. And as always, what you can expect from anything Disney, anything Star Wars, the effects are phenomenal.
Gee, how do you feel the trailer looks? Because I know there was some debate online about like the visuals in the trailer.
I think it looked fine. I think that, they still kept Grogu as like the puppet, so I think that's good. They didn't try to go CGI. They kept to the roots on that. But I mean, the rest of it all looked great. It didn't look like, I mean, from the trailer, right? We were not getting much, right? We get, was it a minute total of footage? So in that minute total of footage, doesn't look like they were cheap about the effects. Nothing looks like it was overdone. But again, we have such a small sample size that it's hard to be like, oh yeah, they really did the effects right for this movie. But overall, the first look is promising for sure.
Yeah, I also will mention the synopsis real quick. It's just come out, and the official first like synopsis of the movie is quote: "The evil empire is fallen, and Imperial warlords remain scattered throughout the galaxy. As the fledgling New Republic works to protect everything the rebellion fought for, they listen to the help of legendary Mandalorian bounty hunter Din Djarin and his young apprentice Grogu." So, short and sweet, to the point. Like this is like the adventures of Mando and Grogu, Scooby-Doo style, Nick.
What we expected, we'll see what it leads to.
Yeah, so we're gonna solve. We are down to the point where we are, as you said, Mando and Grogu solving mysteries, eating donuts, or in Grogu's case, some popcorn when they're at the gladiator ring. So it feels
Mhm.
like that they've given themselves a very simple plot line where if they want to do multiple movies of this, they can.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point at the end of the movie we're gonna have some sort of connection into the Ahsoka cast of characters to bring everything full circle. Like it just seems odd at this point. Like I think it's time we bring it up because it's been a few years now that Zeb is in Mando, but not in Ahsoka, or not really in Ahsoka. Like you'd think the opposite. So they could probably bridge that gap at some point in this movie.
Yeah, I think so too. And I want to go to the poster real quick. You guys have to see the full poster.
I have not seen it.
All right, so I'm going to get the
Same here.
poster pulled up on social media here because it is a new looking poster here because you notice they changed the font of the Mandalorian and Grogu title to go with the more Western Indiana Jones vibe. We got some shots here. We got this new stylized writing here. Starring and then they have here starring Pedro Pascal as Din Djarin and Grogu as himself in the top right corner. That's Sigourney Weaver's on there. Zeb's on there. The Hutts are on there. Grogu is on there a couple times as is Mando. We see Mando with the pulse gun here. We see some walkers. We see starfighters and Razor Crest too. How you guys feel about the poster?
It was like a comic book.
Yeah,
Yeah, I enjoy it. I think it has all the classic kind of Star Wars elements to their posters, but it has its own flair and like you had said, Nick, like a comic book, but it looks like a western-y comic book. So I think it's very unique and I think it's good.
I think I like the choice because it sort of gives you a stylistic difference from like some of the Star Wars we've gotten, and specifically the stuff that's gotten panned of late with the sequel trilogy. Like this feels like it'll be a lot of fun. And I feel like they're trying to go lean into that Western vibe of, oh, we're gonna go have an adventure and come back and like do and fight bad guys and like not have it be tied to the complete fate of the galaxy like some of the Skywalker saga was.
I'm excited. I'm like I said, nothing really stood out in the trip. Not that nothing stood out, but nothing stood out in the trailer that made me more excited for the movie. Just the fact that it feels more real that we actually have it.
Yeah, I think Pete. I think a good way to wrap this is sort of like my thoughts on the trailers, like they didn't give you much. They didn't give you anything that you think, oh my God, this is a disaster. But they didn't give you a ton at the same time and say, okay, I'm really, really pumped for this movie. Like, okay, show me more. That's sort of my mindset right now.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest, I'm not in that camp in the sense of show me more. Like it didn't draw me in like I think it should have as a teaser. Saw a lot of stuff that we've seen in Mando seasons 1 through 3 as well. Not to say the same scenes, but the same kind of scenes. But I will say too, the synopsis of the movie, I did not get that from the trailer at all. Now, granted, I know it's a teaser, but the synopsis you read, if someone said, "Tell me what the trailer's about," I couldn't even tell you. Honestly, it was just a bunch of action scenes and like we'll see more. So there's something good about that, right? Where you don't give away everything, but like for someone who's not as interested like us who wants to get into the movie, I don't know if they're pulling that audience in with this. Granted, there's time for an official trailer, but this to me was very like just very actiony and nothing really of substance. Because again, I didn't get that synopsis out of that at all.
Yeah, Nick, it does like Pete does raise a fair point here. Like, if you are not us in the Star Wars community where we are attuned to this thing, and I did see it did have 3.3 million views on YouTube as of like recording time, which is about 12 hours after it came out. Like, that's a good
Right, I don't know how that is though. You tell me. How good is that?
I think it's a solid number. 3.3 million in
Like for them, obviously, I mean, like if me or you were to get that many views, that's obviously incredible. Is that good for them?
I feel like that's good for them.
Sure.
That people are at least aware of this and checking it out. Because like in comparison to some of their more recent videos here, like I'm looking here, like we have some clips from Lego Star Wars that have 137,000 views. Tony Gilroy doing commentary on Andor 2 has 347,000 views. Like an interview with a compilation of Krennic from 3 weeks ago has 30,000 views. So this is way above what they usually get.
That's good.
Yeah, so I think they got our attention. I just don't know. I'm with P. I don't know if this is enough to get the casual moviegoer who's been more discriminated with their money since the writer's strike in particular. Like, it's got them
I
excited
mean,
to say, "I'm coming."
even Star Wars fans that have watched Mando's seasons 1 through 3, this just seems like another season of Mando that we've seen already. I mean, let's just call it what it is. We've seen it's very cookie cutter in my opinion. So hopefully there's more in the official trailer, the longer theatrical trailer, that gives us a little bit more to be like, oh, okay, this is interesting. This is not just a Mando and Grogu mission for 2.5 hours, right? So I think that's my concern, and that's why I took away from it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, Nick?
Yeah, just looking back at some older clips of theirs.
Yeah.
Like for example, the Andor trailer got 7.5 million views. That was 6 months.
Yeah. So we don't know like what it was on the day of release.
Yeah, but we got half of that in a day.
Yeah. Which that's good.
To me, that sounds very good.
And Andor was
Not even 12 hours.
yeah.
Right.
And
To me,
Andor
that sounds pretty good. So we'll see. I mean, this isn't, you guys have both said that they haven't drawn me fully in and stuff, and they haven't drawn in fully, but they don't have to today.
no, they
They got
don't.
8 months to do it. They got probably two, maybe even three more trailers to do it.
Yeah. I still would bet that like we get a more official trailer possibly tied to
The,
Avatar 3 in December. I think that's
the
possible.
the theatrical trailer, meaning the full trailer that's like 2 minutes long, I
Two and a
think is
half,
going
yeah.
to be right, is going to be the trailer to look out for when it comes to the quality of the movie. I think that's going to be the best litmus test. This is just one of those things where like, look, this is coming, get ready. So I get it. I get why it's action packed. I get that. So we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I feel like this. There have been rumors that they were trying to throw this on with Tron Ares in theaters, which this makes sense that you could throw this for 9 seconds where Tron Ares comes out. I think you might get sort of the full theatrical trailer in December with Avatar 3. You might get like the Avengers Doomsday teaser trailer with that movie. I could see that being sort of their biggest theatrical property for a while, saying, okay, we're using this to sort of remind people of our two big tent poles coming up next year.
And Tron's what, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now?
Franz, I think October 10th.
Yeah, okay, so about 2, 3 weeks. All right.
All right, so I think that's a good place to leave it here for a little bonus episode. We'll be back next week, as promised, with the first four of our Star Wars episode bracket. So looking forward to that. I think you guys are coming on here. Pete, people follow us on social media. How can I do that?
Be great if I unmuted. At Consy29 on Twitter, CONSY29, AP Tyler 308 posted the background I'm using here on Red, so make sure you check them out.
Nick, one more time. If you got to follow us on social media, how can I do that?
At Sky Guys Podcast all over social media, and at Sky Guys Pod if you want to follow the pod. If you want to email the pod, that is.
At Gmail. Yep, at gmail.com.
Yep.
Also follow me on social media, mphillips331. It's MPHILIPS331. We'll be back next week to resume the Star Wars Best TV Episode bracket with the first four. Until then, may the Force be with you.